Have you ever written a paragraph and felt it sounded choppy or repetitive? Or maybe you have struggled to make your essays and articles sound more sophisticated? The secret to unlocking clear, powerful, and varied writing lies in understanding the three main types of sentences: simple, compound, and complex. Mastering these will transform your writing from a collection of thoughts into a cohesive and compelling narrative. In this video, we will cover everything you need to know, from the basic building blocks to advanced punctuation techniques. Let's get started. Before we can build a house, we need to understand the bricks. In writing, the bricks are clauses. To write a complete sentence, you need three things. First, a subject. That's who or what the sentence is about. Second, a predicate or verb. That's what the subject does or is. And most importantly, it must express a complete thought. If you can put a period at the end and it makes sense by itself, it's a complete sentence. For example, the cat sleeps. It has a subject, a verb, and it is a complete idea. But a fragment like "because I was tired" is incomplete. It leaves you asking, so what happened? Now, there are two types of clauses you absolutely need to know. An independent clause is like a complete person. It can stand on its own as a full sentence. For example, she finished her homework. A dependent clause, on the other hand, is like someone who needs to hold hands. It has a subject and a verb, but it can't stand alone because it starts with a word like because, although, or when. For example, because she finished her homework. It doesn't make sense by itself. To fix it, you have to attach it to an independent clause. Because she finished her homework, she went to bed early. Remember, independent, stand alone. Dependent, needs support. Now that we understand clauses, let's look at the simplest sentence type. A simple sentence contains exactly one independent clause. That's one subject and one verb expressing one complete idea. Take the examples. Birds sing. Subject and a verb. My mother baked a cake. Subject, verb, and object. Now, here is a common misconception. Simple sentences are not necessarily short sentences. For example, the tall boy with curly hair who sits in the front row answered the difficult questions correctly. This is still a simple sentence. But why? Because it has only one subject, the boy, and one verb, answered. The length doesn't matter. The rule is one independent clause equals a simple sentence. Most simple sentences follow one of 5 basic patterns. Recognizing these patterns is a huge help for correct grammar. Number 1. Subject, verb. The sun rises. 2. Subject, verb, object. She reads books. Number 3. Subject, verb, indirect object, direct object. He gave her a gift. He gave her a gift. Number 4. Subject, verb, subject, complement. The soup smells delicious. 5. Subject, verb, object, object, complement. They elected him president. Identifying which patterns you are using helps you avoid errors and build solid sentences. Okay, let's level up. A compound sentence. A compound sentence takes 2 independent clauses and joins them together. This is how you combine related ideas to show your readers how they connect. There are 3 main ways to do this. Method number 1. Using the FANBOYS or coordinating conjunctions. Remember the acronym FANBOYS: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. When you use one of these to join two independent clauses, you must place a comma before the conjunction. For example, I wanted to walk, but it started raining. Each FANBOYS word has a specific logic. Using the right one is crucial for clarity. Method number 2. Using a semicolon. If your two sentences are very closely related, you can join them using a semicolon without a conjunction. For example, she loves reading, semicolon. He prefers gaming. Just remember, the ideas on both sides of the semicolon must be related and complete sentences. Method number 3. Using a semicolon plus a conjunctive adverb. This is for a more formal, sophisticated tone. Use a semicolon followed by a conjunctive adverb like however, therefore, moreover, and then a comma. The test was difficult, semicolon. However, comma, everyone passed. The test was difficult, however, everyone passed. So, to recap, compound sentences, two independent clauses are glued together with a comma plus FANBOYS, a semicolon, or a semicolon plus a conjunctive adverb. Now we get to the sentences that show sophistication and nuance. A complex sentence. A complex sentence contains one independent clause and at least one dependent clause. This is the sentence type that allows you to show cause and effect, time, condition, and contrast in a very precise way. There are two ways to structure a complex sentence. Structure number 1, dependent clause comes first. For example, because it was raining, we stayed indoors. Notice the comma? When you start with a dependent clause, you need a comma after it. Structure number 2, independent clause comes first. For example, we stayed indoors because it was raining. When the independent clause comes first, you don't need a comma. To build a dependent clause, you use a subordinating conjunction. These words signal the relationship between the ideas. There are many, but here are the key groups. Time. When, while, after, before, until, and so on. Call me when you arrive, for example. Reason or cause. Because, since, as, and so on. She was late because traffic was heavy. Condition. If, unless, and so on. I will go if you come too. Contrast. Although, though, even though. Although it was cold, we went swimming. Purpose. So that, in order that. Speak clearly so that everyone can hear. Choosing the right subordinating conjunction is what makes your writing sophisticated. It shows the reader exactly how your ideas are connected. So let's do a quick recap. A simple sentence has one independent clause. For example, the students studied hard. A compound sentence has two or more independent clauses. For example, the students studied hard, so they aced the test. A complex sentence has one independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. For example, because the students studied hard, they aced the test. Remember, simple equals one idea, compound equals two or more equal ideas, and complex equals one main idea with supporting information. Now, there is a bonus type called compound complex sentence. As the name suggests, it combines both structures. It has two or more independent clauses and at least one dependent clause. For example, the dog barked when the mailman arrived and the cat ran away. Now, I encourage you to practice. Take a piece of your own writing and try these 3 strategies. Number 1. Identify. Read a paragraph and label each sentence as simple, compound, or complex. 2. Combine. Take 2 short, choppy, simple sentences and join them into a compound sentence. 3. Expand. Take a simple sentence and add a dependent clause to it to make it complex. Experimenting with these types will immediately add rhythm and clarity to your writing. And that's it. You now have a complete guide to mastering sentence structures, whether you're writing an essay for school or a professional email. These tools will help you communicate your ideas with power and precision. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more tips. Don't forget to check the description below for a link to a free PDF. Thanks for watching and happy writing.